I was really in a bad mood. I stomped round the cave, turning everything upside down. I looked under the sofa and behind the chair. I moved papers round my table. I even looked in Zanzibar's bed. I still couldn't find it. Dratted tadpoles, I muttered. Where is it? I looked round again. Still nothing. I marched to the door where I usually found it. It wasn't there. My broomstick rustled his twigs. He could tell I was in a bad mood. Zanzibar, my cat, kept out of my way. Meow. The cauldron, I thought. It must be in the cauldron. So I scurried over to the big black cooking pot. I looked over the rim and peered in. It wasn't there. I stamped my foot, and that felt so good. I stamped it again. Zanzibar sidled over to me, not at all sure how to approach me, because I was in such a bad mood. Heckerty, he said in a small voice, tell me what's wrong. Can I help? No, you can't, I snapped, and then stopped, because it wasn't his fault I couldn't find it. It was my own silly fault. I'd simply put it down somewhere that wasn't its usual place, and therefore I couldn't find it. It's very important, you know, to always put things back in their correct place. It makes finding them much easier when you need them. My problem is that I never do, and that's how my things get so untidy and go missing. I kept looking up at the empty peg on the wall where it usually hung, hoping that somehow by magic it would be there. It wasn't. I've lost my hat, I told Zanzibar. Oh me, what shall I do? Without my hat, I can't do magic. Will it ever come back? Oh, where is my hat? I wailed. I know I had it the other day, but I can't find it, and I've looked everywhere. Maybe a magic spell to get it back? Suggested Zanzibar. I can help you with that. Good idea, I said, relieved that Zanz was on the case. Do you know a magic spell for finding lost witches' hats? I'm sure I can find one, replied Zanzibar, heading out of the cave. Leave it to me. I didn't have much choice, so I left it to him and sat down on my sofa. Zanzibar was back a few moments later, carrying 2 large books. One was full of domestic spells, such as helping you grow carrots in your bathtub. Things like that. Maybe it's in here, he said, opening a very old book, which had some of its pages falling out. I know I've seen it. I peered over his shoulder. How to turn a red mushroom into a stylish red hat. How to turn a purple eggplant into a modern purple hat. How to use a banana to make a handsome top hat. And how to make a pointed roof into a witch's hat. None of those will work for me, I said to Zanz sadly. I need a spell to find my own beloved hat. Got got it! Squealed Zanz, and he jumped up and rushed over to me. Unfortunately, he didn't notice that Broomstick had come to help me find my hat and was sweeping under the sofa. Zanzibar tripped over Broomstick's hand. As he fell, the book opened and flew up into the air with pages swirling around him. We both tried to grab them and catch the book, but we were too late. The book landed face down. All the pages were scattered around the cave. Zanzibar got to his 4 feet, dusted himself down and looked sheepishly at me. Meow! The same thing dawned on both of us. We were standing in a sea of paper. The different hat spell pages were all around us. All the pages were out of order. Now what were we going to do? We started to pick up the papers and tried to put them in order. It was hopeless. Each spell was printed on 2 pages, with the picture on the left page and its matching spell on the right. When they escaped, all the spells were muddled up, and we didn't know which hat went with which spell. Zanzibar groaned. There's only one thing for it, Heckerty, he said. We have to try them all. I knew he was right. I nodded glumly. I was going to have to spend the whole afternoon trying to work out the spell to find my old, battered, but much-loved hat. It would have just been quicker and easier to zoom into Spellbound and buy a new one, like the one Persnickety gave me for Christmas. But I love my hat, and I wanted it back. It was an old friend, and you don't ditch your old friends just because they're not there. So I picked up 2 of the sheets and started to chant. Broomsticks and cauldrons and things just like that. Moons and stars and my own black cat. Tell me or show me if you can do that. Where is my witch's hat? The surface of the cauldron fizzed and bubbled, and then lay still. I took 2 more pages and tried again. Toadstools and mushrooms, toys from a stroller, front teeth, back teeth, and even a molar. Mix it all up using warm soapy cola. Now, find my hat. No, not that. That's a bowler. And instead of my much-loved and missing hat, the cauldron fizzed and heaved and bubbled, and out popped a black bowler hat. Try it on, Heckerty, Zanz encouraged me. So I did, and I looked ridiculous. The bowler sat on the top of my frizzy hair. I felt silly. This will never do, I told Zanz, who had his paws stuffed in his mouth to stifle his giggles. Dratted tadpoles, I thought. Even my cat's laughing at me now. I must find my hat. I carried on chanting, trying out the spells on every page. A parade of hats came and went. Let's see if we can name them all, shall we? Football helmet, baseball cap, stovepipe hat, beach hat, headscarf, sombrero, beret, cowboy hat. No matter what I tried, the cauldron just couldn't find my witch's hat. There were just 2 pages left to try. Come on, cauldron, I said. You can do it. You know you can. Over hill and under dale, into shakes of a black lamb's tail. Something's coming, something pale, scrunchadilliac. Oh no, a veil. And a lace wedding veil rose from the depths of the cauldron. Zanz and I looked at each other. By now Zanzibar was giggling helplessly. Try it on, Heckerty, he spluttered, laughing so hard he could hardly stand up. I couldn't help joining in. And then I put the veil on my head. What do you think? Do I look the part? When I was younger, I dreamed of handsome wizards, and I wished I had rainbow hair. Oh, well, I sighed to Zanz. Not really for me, and anyway, I need to find my hat. I walked over to the cauldron and stared into it. There's just one spell left to try, I thought. The last page from the book. How I hoped it would work. I began to chant. By nook or by look, the last spell in the book says take a long hook, sit down by the brook, poke around in the gook, feel something. Ugh, yuck. Is it wide? Is it flat? Is it black like my cat? Is it long like a mat? No. Is it my hat? It was. It was my hat. Not at all worse for wear. In fact, better, since it had taken a bath in the brook. How did you get here? I asked it. Holy squatnik, kaboodlerai. Did you walk? Did you swim? Did you run? Did you fly? Take yourself off. Go home to your hook, so I'll know where to find you whenever I look. As my hat shook itself dry, Zanz and I grinned at each other. I put my hat on and looked at Zanz. An oldie but goodie, I said. And Zanz meowed. Meow! Every week. Love from Heckerty. Click to subscribe.